All right, it's 135 to Beat, Miami's new #1 for hip-hop, R&B, and The Breakfast Club. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother for life. I'm so excited. I am super-duper excited to introduce my brother, SHIFTA Timeless.
Papa Don. What's up, big bro?
What's good?
Yeah,
Listen, SHIFTA,
know,
man.
Bless.
We've been friends for a very long time. Let's not even try to front and make this no corny interview where like, hey, SHIFTA, how you doing? Whatever. You my brother. We talk almost all the time.
Facts.
And I just want to say, I'm like really proud, and I want to give you your gold roses of just your consistency. Just like, you made a decision, of being an artist a long time ago, and it takes me back to the first time when you came to the old studio when I had the reggae mix going on, and you were like, yo, how do I get on the radio?
Thanks.
And that's when I first met you, and just to see like all these years later that you still in the game, still putting out good music, and, taking your stuff seriously, I just want to salute you.
Thank you,
my brother.
You know
what I mean? And give you your roses, man.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man. And like you said, this is more than friendship. We're family.
Exactly.
I look at you like a big brother.
Exactly.
You were one of the first people, you amongst Jazzy T that really took me in, when I was really just starting in the industry and really gave me that push and really, brought me on a different platform. It's one thing to be where I'm from down south, doing stuff at the Pan Yard or underground radio stations or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You were probably, if I had to think back, like the first mainstream real interviews. So, that to me at that time was huge.
And it's funny, I talk to other artists about you sometimes in other interviews because I talk about why that happened, because of the fact that you actually took your stuff so seriously. So many people want to be artists, and they want to be artists from their living room, or they want to be artists from their bedroom. They don't want to get out. They don't want to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you were so hungry, you put in the work, really speaks to how you're able to open up doors for yourself,
Of course.
So let's take it back a little bit. Let's dial it back. First of all, for people who don't know, how'd you get the name SHIFTA?
A lot of people don't believe me, but to be honest, it's my real name.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ethiopian. My dad, gave me it. It actually has a big meaning behind it. It actually, it has a large history. People could look it up online. And, every time I tell people that, they're just like, I don't believe you.
Well, give them a little bit of the history. Let them understand it real quick.
Well, Shiftas is basically, in Ethiopia, you were called Shifta if you were a rebel back in the days. And they were called rebels because they were pretty much going against what the government believed in back then. And my uncle, my dad's older brother, was actually a Shifta. They eventually overpowered the government, and my uncle actually was the head of the armed forces for the last 30 plus years.
Wow.
Eventually. So kind of like, I think they got like the guerrillas in Colombia.
Yeah.
Something similar like that, but this was happening in Ethiopia a long time back. So you see the definition for it, they gave it was rebel, but in actuality, after a period of time, when they took over the power and became in charge, it kind of altered the way it was.
Yeah,
but I
like a shift.
Yeah, I have people
so
to this day.
You are a shifter. Yeah.
That's still in Ethiopia. Yeah. Like when I went there a few times, I told them my name, they're just looking at me. I had one lady put up the cross, like, oh my God. Like, it was intense. And I didn't really understand it too much, obviously, when I was younger. And then I kind of did some research to really understand like what it was about and, how that name was so impactful. Because people would say, there's no way your dad named you SHIFTA.
Right.
No way.
So your roots are Ethiopian, just so the people can know.
Yeah, my dad's Ethiopian and my mom's Jamaican.
That's what's
up. I
up.
was born and raised right here in Miami.
That's what's up. But you seem to have captured both. Definitely know you as a Jamaican artist as well as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you've captured both. And you've been to Ethiopia quite a few times as well.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, I guess you could say the motherland, the homeland, Selassie, the whole, the whole thing behind it. So my dad moved to Jamaica actually when he was in high school through the war that was going on back there. Mm-hmm. And, back then I guess it was the whole transition with the whole Haile Selassie and the Rastafari. So, he kind of just went right into that culture. And
took advantage of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also may not know, but your father is an artist and a producer, record label owner. You could talk about that as well.
Yeah, big up daddy for us, Piper Records. You know, my pop's the first person to ever bring Lady Saw in the studio. A lot of the old school legends, Reggie Stepper, General Degree, Buccaneer. He was one of the first people to record Beanie Man. So, I grew up in the music. I remember going from literally leaving elementary school and going right to the studio downtown.
I have to know how your parents met because your father is a shifter too. He's a rebel. Yeah. And your mom is like the sweetest lady on earth.
I'm going to give you the short version. It's crazy because my dad's actually a little younger than my mom. And my mom and my dad's older sister were really good friends in school.
Ah.
So my dad was like the younger brother that like the whole high school was like, just give me a chance. Like, let me take you on a date. Let me do, you know what I'm saying? Until like my mom said one day, after years and years, they finally, you know, they got older. They're in college now and they moved up to Miami, and you know, they just eventually from there, you know, went on a date and got together.
That's what's up, man. And they made a beautiful family.
But you're right. My mom and my dad are like hot and cold. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Pops being hot and mom being.
So we know now that, you know, your father had a lot of influence, you know, on your music and you being an artist. But what was it for you? What was like that moment where you were like, you know what? I want to do this. I can do this, and I'm gonna do this. What was that moment?
Man, I used to play sound. I started as a selector, as a DJ, right here in Miami, Wickedness, and
They're still around, Wickedness? I know one of us is a
I'll be
photographer, videographer.
Yeah, they kind of divided and went on different sounds.
And then then one went to Black Chinese.
Black Chinese, and then disco went on with Eccentrics and them. But you know, I was doing that for a few years during high school, and it was fun, it was cool. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget this one summer I went to Jamaica, and I'm there with my cousin, and we're at this they call them barbecue or fets or whatever. And this group comes on. They look the same age, look pretty much like me and my cousin, you know. And they get on stage, they start singing. I'm seeing everybody screaming and shouting and yelling. And I'm like, man, I don't really want to be the guy in the stage over there playing the music no more. Like, I want to actually try and venture and do something like that, you know. And that same day I went home, we started listening to beats, writing music. You know, the whole summer I kind of just, you know, evolved and kind of changed like my passion for playing the music to actually creating the music. And then I came back after the summertime. I think I was a senior that year, and it was a group of us. We went by Frost Crew back then.
Yes.
And then
what's that?
Yeah, Frost Crew. And yeah, you know, it was just I was like, yo, we gotta get the studio, write some lyrics, we gonna. It was just a vibe, you know what I mean? It was all fun, you know.
You and all your friends vibing.
Exactly. I think it was like 4 of us in the beginning, then it was 3. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you remember what was the first song that you recorded?
The first song I actually flipped. Back then it was War 21. I had the song "The One and the Blood Still."
Yeah,
and I flipped that and that's to more of a sexy vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of took their melody, their flow, and just remixed it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you were kind of. I remember when I first met you, you were kind of known for like flipping songs and giving it like really taking like hip hop songs and then flipping it. I know you had the joint with the Kanji shop and you made it into Ganja shop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I think that helped with your. You know, you want to talk about that period?
No, absolutely. Well, of course, you know, growing up and being here in Miami and going back and forth between Jamaica, I was always around a lot of, you know, diverse music. So hip hop, R&B, and then go to Jamaica for the summer, a lot of reggae, roots, you know, dancehall. Yeah. Exactly. So what I started doing was basically taking the popular hip hop beats and just doing my twist to it, you know. And obviously I was doing dancehall rhythms to it at the time, but it was actually the Ja Rule, the New York record.
Oh yeah,
I'm from New York.
That's right.
Yeah, I took it.
That was before Candy Shop.
That was the first one.
That's right.
And I took that one and I said, I got a Guinness on a great spliff. We're from Jamaica. And I think you were there. We was at Oxygen and you played it.
Yes.
And Jazzy was spinning that night and Jazzy was like, yo, next month, Renaissance, my boss that song. It's like, all right, cool. You know,
right.
That was the first time we ever played in the club, so I didn't, you know. And then never forget it. That summer we was down there. Fresh Timeless, shout out in the building, of course, was with me. And Jazzy made a big scene about it.
It's so crazy. Now, I was trying to remember because I had I had seen Fresh, but I couldn't remember where I've seen Fresh before, but that's what it was. It was at Renaissance Anniversary.
Yeah.
They had it over by the water, by the river, by Brickell.
That was when
you know what I'm saying? They had like a club over there. And I remember, because I remember something happened that night too. But
Unruly Indian.
Yes. You know what I mean? So now I remember, because I thought the first time that I saw him was Oxygen. Something happened that night too.
Oh, no,
I'm sorry, Fresh. I'm keeping it light, though. But it was actually the Renaissance thing, because I remember that night vividly now that you said that. And I remember Jazzy playing the song.
Yeah.
That is amazing, man. That is amazing. Well, listen, you know, I did this deliberately because I want sometimes even just for us to have the record of all the accomplishments, where we came from, all that you've done, your history, because I find a lot of time, you know what I mean? people are more buy into like understanding that you're Ethiopian, understanding all the things you've been through, the journeys, you know, like, oh snap, he went to that school too. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's good for us to talk about our past, although we try to just keep things pushing, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, absolutely.
So I hope you didn't mind me, you know, diving into that, because it makes it seem like I don't know you, but I did that purposely. But let's get to today for sure. You know, well, before we get to today, I want to talk about you had an album that you had did. I don't know if you call it an album or EP that you had did with a young lady from Asia.
Yeah, Chanel.
Right? What country was she from? 'Cause I know you visited there.
She's from Japan.
She's from Japan, and honestly, man, I thought that was one of the like wickedest bodies of work, bro. I ain't gonna lie, to this day.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I really do. So that's why I want to bring it up. Tell everybody the name of that EP for me.
The name of that EP was called You and I, and it was me and Chanel, 7 songs, and it just started honestly as one track, which was the first single, Do You Wanna?
Right.
I know at the time we were trying to find a pretty known or established R&B singer, a girl to fit it. We had a couple other prospects, and she ended up being the one that recorded it, and just the vibe the first day, like she was really a fan of dancehall reggae.
Yeah. Super
cool, humble, eager, hungry as myself, but at that time, I had no clue she was like Beyonce in Japan. Like,
yeah, she was huge.
Yeah, like
there, yeah.
10 million soul, cover girl. I would never got that vibe from her the first time, So like the first day we banged out the first record, and she was like, "Yo, let's work on something else," And it was just one of those. I always tell people, like, especially collaborating with other artists, it really boils down to the energy. It don't matter how talented or how popular, how famous the artist is. It's like, if your energy and vibe immediately is not aligned with each other, it's gonna be seen. It's going to be seen whether it's in a performance, in a video shoot, in an interview. You could just tell when somebody's like, okay, this person's going left and that person's going right.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was such a dope, cool vibe with her off the rip, and not only her talent, but then shortly after that, I realized, wait a minute, this girl is 10 million sold, you know what I'm saying? This is a great look in Japan.
Yeah.
She wasn't that popular or famous here in America, because I didn't really know about her, to be honest with you, before that.
But it was an opportunity for her to kind of branch out into this market where you reside, and then for you to even touch that, because I know you did a tour out there in Japan.
Yeah. We were here for the whole summer.
A few cities.
Yeah, and it's crazy you say that, the whole thing with Japan, because even just recently, like in the last few months, when I was going over the new distribution situation, I wasn't even aware of some of the numbers and the statistics as far as where a lot of my streams was coming from.
Right.
And come to find out, like, one of the records off that EP called Baby I Love You, I never promoted the record, never did a video for it, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Do You Wanna was pretty much the primary single off of that EP. But that Baby I Love You record was #1 streaming record I had on Spotify. I had no clue.
And that's such a gem. I was talking to Brett Barish, who owns Sovereign Brands, Bel Air, Bumble Rum, and all those different things. And he was saying like that type of information now in these days is so valuable, because now if you find out like, damn, I got like, like 1 million fans or 1 million people downloaded this song here. Now you could actually work the record there. Or
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can
Target them.
Yeah, you can go out there and do a show and know that you're going to get people because, based on those numbers. So that's such valuable information for artists. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, listen, man, I just definitely wanted to touch on that. And then before we get to the new EP that you have out, I want to say that I appreciate the fact that you got comfortable in your artistry, understood what your lane was as an artist, and now you sitting on it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, my brother.
And you really enjoying it, and it just fits you so well.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I know it's a struggle, especially sometimes even being a Jamaican artist, because it seems like there's so many facets to Jamaican artists, right? And I was even talking about that on a podcast, on the same podcast we were watching. Dancehall Hot Seat.
Yes.
Right? I was talking about that because back in the days, we knew a dancehall artist could be a badman, could be a gallus, could be roots and culture, can talk politics, bounty killer.
Yeah.
It was all of those things. You know what I mean? So it was almost like as an artist, you had to feel, coming out of Jamaica, like you had to cover everything. You know what I mean? But I always felt like you had a knack for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, your thing was always like with the women and making songs for them, And it seems like you're really in your lane with this new project. Could you tell everybody the name of the project first of all?
Well, it's right now. I haven't decided on a set date for the actual EP. I've just been releasing.
Did you get a name for it, or are you still working on it?
No, I'm still finalizing the name.
Okay.
I just been releasing a lot of singles.
Singles, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was definitely an honor to work and be the first reggae song, Too Short. That was the first one I released last year.
Yes. Little Freak.
Yeah, Little Freak. And
you gotta say Little Freak.
Little Freak.
When you're purchasing it, definitely say Little Freak.
Yeah.
But when you're pronouncing it, y'all say Little Freak.
Nah, it was dope though, man. Especially somebody like Too Short that's been in the game so long, legendary, worked with, you name it. And when we was in the studio recording, he was just like, "Yo, it's my first reggae song, man. What'd you say in that part again? Repeat it." So, just being able to bridge that culture. And to be honest, just take it back on what you said a while ago. You are a large part on really helping me target in on owning that lane, meaning the dancehall dude that did a lot of hip hop remixes and was able to come up with records that more or less had hip hop or international artists.
Right.
I remember you having a convo with me about that.
Yeah, we did.
A few years ago. You're like, yo, there's the Movados, there's the Cartels, there's the people who own their lane.
They want to be you.
But you got have the lane where you could collab with Rihanna, you could collab with Too Short, you could collab with Drake, you could collab with any of these artists in your style and your genre and what you're singing about. And it even correlates with what you're saying recently on that interview as well with the whole Afrobeat thing. Like, there were certain points in my career where I feel like, especially when I moved back to Jamaica, I felt like, okay, the Busy and the Idonias and the Movados were busting. And it was a beer gangsta and badman thing. And I had to conform my music and my style to kind of like be hot or be relevant at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I remember coming back to Miami and you really just vibing with me and really like, opening my mind to the sense of shit that like you blew up on remixing hip hop records as a dance hall dude, you know what I'm saying? Like when you go do these interviews back in the days, like, yeah, man, I don't know, yeah, like just be yourself, be how you are. Everybody knows you as how you talk, how you move, and the kind of music and style and stuff you do. You know what I'm saying? Your life, fun, girls, ladies, enjoying myself. You know what I'm saying? Don't adjust to the music industry to be relevant and be hot. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do you, then it's gonna be what the outcome is. You're going to attract a fan base of the people or the music listeners that is into the style and into the stuff that you're into. And I'll be honest, just to touch on even the whole dancehall scene right now, like I feel like dancehall is at a super decline. You know what I'm saying? From going back from 10, 15 years ago when it was a lot of the kind of music and stuff that was coming out that I felt people enjoyed about it, the fun, the happiness, the love. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Afrobeat ran with it. You know what I'm saying? They did. I remember that on the interview. It's like, they're okay with like begging a woman to love them or do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a big part of life. Like, just trying to be too cool or be too like what everybody in the Jamaican, the hardcore dancehall culture feels you need to be. You know what I'm saying? It's stifling
even just respectful to women. Even just respectful to women and like, complimenting women on their physique and certain things versus just being so direct. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Don't deny, Jordan.
Facts, like, yeah, we like that, but, you know what I'm saying, women want to be romanced, they want to be talked to nicely, they want to, there's different sides to a woman, and I feel like it was just shifting one way, you know what I'm saying?
Too much.
Yeah, so I'm so happy. So my mistakes on that, because you were releasing so many singles that I thought like...
It was going to an EP.
Right.
Well, I'm definitely planning to drop an EP this year.
Okay.
I don't have a set date.
Okay.
But, I had, took a little back seat with the music. Over the last over a few years, personal stuff going on, and I just kind of decided, like, at the end of last year, early this year, okay, I got so many records, so many collaborations with. I released on February the one with Jacure. I had the Too Short record. I had
Tell
records.
everybody the name of the one with Jacure.
On the record with Jacure, it's called "I'm So in Love." I did that record 3+4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? The record with Too Short, I did that like 3+4 years ago. A lot of these records that I'm releasing now, I've done stuff.
They're timeless.
Elephant Man, you name it. The Marleys. Yeah, the list goes on. Kevin Little. And a lot of these records, I was just sitting on them, to be honest with you. And then, you and Fresh, of course, were like, yo, bro, these just sitting in your computer. They're not doing shit for you. If anything, just put them out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? They're not they're not getting in nobody's.
They're definitely not serving you no purpose in your laptop.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the single that you're actually pushing right now, because you started with the Too Short. You definitely went into the Jacura song.
Jacura and Sex You Up. That was another record I dropped right before that. So yeah, pretty much I have a schedule for the rest of the year. I'm pretty much dropping a record, if not every month, every other month. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I got collabos with Cecile coming up. I got records.
That joint I like.
Yeah.
That joint
Fire.
I like. Yeah.
I got a record with Pleasure P and Left Side coming up. I got another record with them, rest in peace, Jomers, Marley coming up. I got a lot of other records, man. A lot of dope records, a lot of records I'm still working on. A lot of big collaborations that I've spoke to other artists, you know, that I've wanted to work with for a while. That
well,
now
the one with
I'm
Conscious
active.
that you got out now. Let's talk about that.
So that's the brand new single. That's the main, you know, the record I dropped last week. The video's out as well on YouTube. It's called Body Day.
Explain what Body Day is for everybody.
Well, the hook goes, I'm going to say, ooh, yeah. So where you get that body day? Cause when you're looking at the mirror, cause it's like ain't nobody there, yeah.
Nice.
It's basically, you know, appreciating the women's body there. You know, and a lot of these women nowadays, if you notice, like, you know, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or whatever, you know, they a lot of times getting ready in the mirror and they're getting themselves together. So I'm kind of just like telling the woman pretty much admiring her, you know, admiring herself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And admiring the fact that if I was there, some of the things I'll be doing to her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I kind of came up with the concept like 2 years back. Like I said, I recorded this a while back, you know, when I was traveling a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I was communicating through FaceTime, you know, with my lady at the time.
Like, turn that around.
Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, let me see that. Hold on. Bend that over. Yeah, exactly.
So why did you decide to connect with Conscious on that, and how did that work for you?
To be honest, the record had been done for a while, you know, and I was getting ready to release it this year, and I had spoke to Conscious on 1 or 2 occasions in the past about collaborating on something, and at first the record just by myself, I had nobody on it, and I was like, you know what? I could hear Conscious on this record, you know what I'm saying? Whether he decided to jump on it or not, I just hit him up out of the blue. It was like, yo, I'm getting ready to drop my project next year. I got a record I think you'll be dope on, you know what I'm saying? Take a listen, let me know what you think. He was like, yeah, I've been waiting on you to, you know, like, let's get up, you know what I'm saying? I said on the record, and I don't even remember him really saying, oh, yeah, I got it or nothing. I just see 2 days later, 3 days later, it's like, yo, check your inbox.
Oh, man.
I'm like, what?
Love that.
He's like, yeah, it's done. Let me know if you need anything else for the session.
Yeah.
So I respected it, you know, because like you said, like I take my career and my craft very seriously, you know, especially when it's music that I like or is good, or an artist or somebody I feel like I respect that has talent as well. So the fact that he just got on it so quick and so fast and just sent it right back, and it was, you know, 1-2, you know what I'm saying? And
that's beautiful. Shout out to Conscious for that, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is an exciting time for you, brother. I know you got some more things coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely.
And I need you to pull back up when you're ready to just launch the whole shebangy bang on everybody.
Yeah.
But I know you got visuals with the songs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So let everybody know where they can kind of like see everything, where they can capture everything.
You can catch me on Instagram, SHIFTA Timeless, SHIFTA_TIMELESS. Same thing on Twitter, Facebook, Timeless Family, you know what I mean? Shout out Fresh Timeless in the building. Elton, welcome home, my brother. Yoko, you know what I mean? Papa Keith, you know, you've been family, my brother, you know what I'm saying? And you played a large role. I also want to give you your flowers too, you know, because there's been times, as you said, in my career where, you know, everybody has their ups and downs, you know, hot, then I'm not hot, then I'm back up, then I'm back relevant, I'm not relevant, you know, and you've always been a supporter of me from the beginning until now. You know, a lot of times when I was confused in terms of like the direction of my music, you know, I'll be honest, you know, you really helped put me in the right direction and guide me and encourage me to keep pushing and keep going, you know what I'm saying?
I love you, my brother.
For real.
I love you.
And my brother Fresh Thomas in the building, he played a large role in my career as well, you know what I'm saying? He definitely stepped in and was able to really help with the business side of everything, because at the time, you know, when I was in Jamaica, it was me and my pops doing what we was doing, and I kind of felt like I was getting lost. I wasn't really like, you know, going in the direction of the music that I really wanted to go to or be doing, you know what I'm saying? And I decided to come back here. And, you know, that was the time when Pops kind of spoke to Fresh and said, Fresh, I need you to kind of like, you know, step in on the business side and kind of help SHIFTA, you know, direct in terms of his career.
Boy, did he ever.
And make certain decisions, you know. And, you know, it was at one point, it was the three of us everywhere. I remember, I think me, you, and Fresh wore Do You Want a shirts for like 7 months straight, you know what I'm saying, to break that record.
It was a time.
So, you know, those things are priceless. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, I think a lot of artists, a lot of musicians nowadays, they kind of forget like how they got what they got, you know what I'm saying, and who played a large role in the part of what they, you know, what they was able to accomplish, you know what I'm saying, and just being honest with y'all, like at this point, I probably would have just hung it up, you know what I'm saying, I probably would just be like, whatever's what, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, I say this as confident as like, just honest as I could say it, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I've always been one of the most talented artists in the dancehall world, you know what I'm saying, I've had some of the biggest from you name it, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Vegas, Baby Sham, Bounty, numbers of them, you know what I'm saying? Just asked me numerous times, like, yo, what's going on with the music? Like, I hear the records, like, yo, there's no reason you not one of the top dancehall artists, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at one point,
artist period, not even dancehall, artist period,
absolutely. And I remember back in the days with you, and it's funny because this interview is like 7, 8 years. Fast forward, you know, back then my goal was like, yo, I want to be the hottest dancehall reggae artist in Miami, Papa Keith, hottest dancehall. But then it's like anything else in life, you know, when you get to that point where I became the hottest or biggest dancehall artist out of Miami, which is a fact. I don't think anybody else could debate that. That's just the truth of what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, let me go to Jamaica and do that. But like you said, now it's more of a bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? I've never dropped an album. I've dropped multiple EPs, multiple singles, multiple projects. I probably got like 30, 40 records online available to listen to. But you know, my real dream and aspiration, like I told you a couple years ago and it still remains, is to actually get a Grammy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Win a Grammy and, you know, do a world tour and do all that. So, like, you know, I feel like right now, man, I just got so many dope records and music that I've not put out for the people for years, not really kept feeding my fans. And, they're going to hear it this year. You know what I'm saying? They're going to hear it. They're going to feel it. They're going to know this is timeless. You know what I'm saying?
SHIFTA Timeless in the building, man. Thank you so much, brother. I'm so happy we had this opportunity to sit down and chop it. Shout out to Fresh Timeless, one of the most selfless, generous, misunderstood people I've ever met in my life.
Don't forget mischievous.
A little bit.
Don't leave that part out.
But we love him to death. You know what I mean? But listen, SHIFTA, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. And thank you so much. Let them know the singles that's out real quick and how they can connect with them.
New singles out called Body Day featuring Conscience. You can check out Little Freak featuring Too Short, Sex You Up. I'm So In Love featuring Jack Cure. Plenty more music to come. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube. It's SHIFTA Timeless. And of course, big up to 103.5 The Beat. You guys have been a major supporter of my career as well. Like you said, the voice of the Caribbean, the voice of the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying, and all that. So big up the whole 103.5 Beat, man. Bullet, Mauricio, AO, Doc, everybody. You know what I mean?
All right, Timeless.
Chee.
Wonderful. That's one for the books. Thank you, bro. Yes, sir. Very